Spring is in the air, and it's time to switch out those math and literacy centers. In today's episode, we are going to take a sneak peek inside our April math and literacy centers for grades K through 5. Stay tuned. What's kicking, educational rock stars? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Farah, the Center Fairy, your ultimate source into the wonderful world of simple classroom systems. If this is your first time joining me here on the page, be sure you hit that like and that subscribe button and click that bell so that you get notified when I go live or upload a new video here on the channel. I am so excited to share with you the April drop of our math and literacy centers for grades K through 5. Just a reminder, all of the links that I'll be sharing today in this video you can find in the description, and you can jump over and check those out. These are available in our massive bundles of digital and hands-on resources for math and literacy centers for each grade level. You can also find them individually, just literacy, individually, just math. You can find them individually by months. We've got something for everybody. So no matter which one you want to pick, you can find exactly what you're looking for. So without further ado, let's jump into April's math and literacy centers for grades K through 5. Okay, educational rock stars, I am so excited. We're going to start here in kindergarten, and I am just so excited about the themes for lower elementary this month. Again, we are going to be taking a look at Volume 2. Our Volume 2 centers do not have any holidays or any seasonal clip art in them. That way you can use these year round. But I do want to go through each one of the centers so that you can see what skills to expect in the month of April. But again, we have not put any clip art that is seasonal or holiday related in these Volume 2 centers so that you can actually use these whenever during the year. Now, our Volume 1 centers that are available do have holidays and seasonal clip art in them, but like I have said multiple times, my students never cared if I brought out a pumpkin center in the middle of April. They just didn't care. It bothered me more than it bothered them. So don't let that stop you if it is a skill that you need to put into your math and literacy centers because your students need to practice. All right, so let's go through our kindergarten centers. We're going to start with our literacy centers, and it looks like we have ask and answer questions, and the students are going to be looking and reading a small passage, and then they're going to be answering some questions about that passage. And then we have illustrations. So we're starting to talk about different text features, question words, ing and ink endings. Some of these, it'll take just a minute for them to load. We have capitalization. Oh, I went the wrong way. I apologize. We have capitalization. Well, maybe we're going to be able to do this. We have capitalization. And then we have rules for discussion. We have opinion writing where they get to roll some dice and they get to work on a little bit of writing. And then we have another writing resource. We have two texts where they're going to be comparing two texts. I love it. High frequency words. And then we get into our math centers. So we have counting objects. We have count forward, loving this jungle theme. We have modeling shapes. We have 2D shapes and 3D shapes, real word shapes. I'll get that out in a minute. And then we have count to answer how many, patterns. It looks like they will be rolling and building patterns. And then we have addition and subtraction. And we have which sign, so they're going to find the missing signs. And then we have them comparing objects. I love this. This is our kindergarten set. And so when you jump over to our resources in our shop, you can look for the pink labels because that is the kindergarten grade level is pink. Now let's jump over to first grade, and we are going to look at literacy first. We're sticking with that jungle theme. We have ask and answer questions. We have long versus short vowels. We have writing narratives, and then we have writing sequencing, and then we have conjunctions, and maybe we're going to go up. Let's try this one more time. We're going to have rules for discussion. We're going to have vowel teams with O in them. O-W, O-E, double O, O-A, O-U, O-I. Then we're going to have vowel teams, EA and EE words. And then we're going to have long I. High frequency words. So that is your 10 your 10 literacy centers. And each one of these bundles every month has 10 literacy and 10 math centers in them. So that is something that we do with all of our monthly bundles. And then we're going to get into number bonds and graphs for math. And then we're going to do composing shapes, telling time. It looks like it's going to be telling time to the half hour. And then we are going to be adding within 100 and then counting to 120, cumulative property, addition and subtraction, word problems, and fraction size. Now, I do want to remind you that all of our resources and all of our centers do follow our Easy Centers format, which is going to make it so much easier for you to teach in small groups because your students are going to see the same type of games over and over and over. The skill is changing. So they may have had a similar game, this one right up here in the top, a similar game to this frog, the counting on, last month or even in the previous months of that before that, but the skill is changing, and so they don't have to spend and waste time inside their center rotations figuring out how to play the game. That's why we use about 15 to 20 different games, and we stick to those type of games so the students are familiar with how to play even though the skills are changing. So let's jump over to our second grade now. It looks like we are going to be working in literacy centers. We're going to be working on context clues. Your students are going to be working on narrative writing, formal versus informal language, prefixes. They're also going to be working on vowel teams as well as rules for discussion, common and proper nouns, silent letters. They're going to be working on trigraphs. They're also going to be working on some high frequency words. And those are fun games that the team has created for them to work on their high frequency words. Now moving into math, they're going to be working on place value, add and subtract within 20, adding 4-digit numbers, comparing to 3-digit numbers, as well as some graphing skills they're going to be working and focusing on. And then they're also going to be working on measuring lengths, estimating lengths, and arrays up to 5 times 5. This is going to start getting them prepared for that multiplication that they're going to be doing in 3rd grade. They're also going to be working on equal shares as well as adding and subtracting 10 or 100. So they're going to be working on equal parts with both 2D and 3D shapes. Love that, man. So our K2 team did such a phenomenal job. Love the jungle theme. Let's see what they did for our upper elementary students this month and with the theme over in upper elementary. It looks like we've got big kids. They are going with big kids and reading skills. All right, so in literacy, we're working on refer to parts of a poem, illustrations in literature, a research project, gathering information, illustrations in informal text, informational writing, I can read, comparative and superlative adjectives, as well as vocabulary, reading fluency, and high frequency words. Now in math, our 3rd graders are going to be working on arrays, unknown numbers, multiplication, another multiplication, a resource or center, fractions on number lines, equivalent fractions, measurement, area, shapes, and partitioning shapes. Love that. Now, I didn't mention in 1st grade and 2nd grade, but let's jump back over. I mentioned that kindergarten, remember, is pink. If you're a 1st grade teacher, you're going to be looking for the teal resources. 2nd grade teachers are going to be looking for coral resources. 3rd grade, you're going to be looking for lime resources. Now let's jump over to 4th grade. That is a navy blue color. And our 4th graders this month are going to be working on visual connections, text structure, interpreting information, a research project center, gathering information, informational writing, modal auxiliaries. They're also going to be working on idioms, Greek and Latin roots, and high frequency words. Now, our 4th graders in math are going to be working on word problems, multiplication equations, multiplying by 10, and adding and subtracting fractions, and then decomposing a fraction. They're also going to be working on add and subtract mixed numbers, measuring angles, there's 2 measuring angles centers in this one. One is looking at the true-false equations or true-false statements, and the other one is matching the fraction. And then they're also going to be measuring angles with a protractor as well as lines of symmetry. So got quite a bit of geometry going on in this particular unit for 4th grade. Definitely a skill that they need to practice. So let's jump over to our 5th graders, and our 5th graders are a dark gray, and they are going to be working on analyzing poetry in their literacy centers, text structure, information from sources, research projects, gathering information, and informational writing, and reference materials. Then they're also going to be looking at idioms, adages, and proverbs, Greek and Latin roots, high frequency words. Now in math, our 5th graders are going to be, oh, I went too fast. Let me back up. In 5th grade, they're going to be working in math. They're going to be working on expressions, using parentheses in equations, reading and writing decimals, comparing decimals, fractions. Looks like they're going to be multiplying fractions. And then area of a rectangle, measuring volume. Looks like they've got a couple measuring volume centers they're going to be working with. And then identifying the trapezoids and two-dimensional figures. So that is going to conclude all of our math and literacy centers for the month of April. And again, just a reminder, kindergarten is pink, 1st grade is teal, 2nd grade is coral, 3rd grade is green or a lime, and then 4th grade is navy, and 5th grade is a dark gray. Now, whatever grade level you teach, I always needed multiple grade levels for my centers because I wanted to be able to easily differentiate for my students. That is why we follow the Easy Centers framework in all of our bundles. That way you can easily differentiate for your students, and your students are not going to know that they might be doing a center that is a grade level up or a grade level down from anybody else that's in that center doing the work. So if you are ready to get your centers organized, I have something I do want to share with you. I have a free guide to organizing your math and literacy centers that you can jump over and download now. All you have to do is click that link in the description and you can get my free guide to organizing your math and literacy centers, including the labels that everybody asks me about in some of our images that we share about our math and literacy centers. So you can jump over and you can grab that at the link up in the description, and we are so excited to be able to share that with you. Now, if you're looking for more tips, strategies, and simple systems to take back into your classroom to make your teacher life easier, check out the videos on your screen. Thanks for watching, and keep being an educational rock star.